Our new topic, boys and girls, is all about castles. And I would like to tell you a little bit more about a castle that's right here in Northern Ireland. Some of you might have seen it before, you might have driven past it, or some people might have visited it, maybe on their school holidays. This castle is called Carrickfergus Castle, and it's a really, really old building, and you're maybe wondering, why was it built in the first place? I wonder why. So let's have a little look and we'll figure out the answer to that question together. So Carrickfergus Castle is situated in the town of Carrickfergus in County Antrim, on the northern shore of the Belfast Lough. Over the years, many different kings and leaders have taken over the castle. The castle played a key role during many battles. Wow. However, nowadays, the castle is maintained by the Northern Ireland Environment Agency and they help to look after it. So there's a map and you can see Carrickfergus Castle just above Belfast, out near the sea. And we'll maybe be finding out more over the next few weeks as to why a castle might be built near the sea. But I wonder, can you think why? So John de Courcy. This man called John was born in 1150. So that's nearly 1000 years ago. Oh my goodness, what a long time ago. He was from a place in England called Somerset, and he decided to come to Ireland around the year 1171. In 1177, de Courcy built the castle after arriving from Dublin to establish himself as the Earldom of Ulster. So he wanted to be a really important figure in Northern Ireland as we know it now. So having conquered Eastern Ulster, he became petty king until 1204 and used Carrickfergus Castle as his headquarters until he was defeated by Hugh de Lacy. And this is his family coat of arms, and again we're learning a little bit more about the reason why different families would have had a coat of arms. So what else did John de Courcy build? So he didn't just build Carrickfergus Castle, but he also built Inch Abbey. And he also built Dundrum Castle. And again, you might have seen these before. So the Siege of Carrickfergus took place in August 1689. So that's about nearly 500 years ago. The Williamite troops landed and began to battle against the Jacobites at Carrickfergus. The Williamites was the name for those troops fighting under William III. He's also known as William of Orange. The Jacobites, that was the name for those troops fighting under James II. So Marshal Schomberg led the Williamite troops to a victory when the Jacobites surrendered after a week of fighting, so they gave up after a week of fighting. Every year there are people who come together to relive the Siege of Carrickfergus. Groups often reenact the different scenes from the battle and put on different shows and exhibitions. So there's a picture of James II. And there's a picture of William III, also known as William of Orange. So over the years, in the late 1790s, the castle was used as a state and county prison. In the 1900s, the castle was used to store weapons, and anti-submarine guns were mounted to protect Belfast Lough during the First World War. So it's even been useful during more recent times in the last century. After 700 years of being used during wars, the War Department transferred the castle to the Ministry of Finance back in 1928. This was to preserve the castle as a historic monument. The basements of the castle were used as air raid shelters during the Second World War, so people would have went down underground to help get some sort of protection from the bombs that might have came from the Second World War. And in 1961, Queen Elizabeth, so that's our queen that we have now still, she landed at Carrickfergus Castle, this being the first inspection of the castle by a reigning monarch since William of Orange at the Siege of Carrickfergus. So even our queen has visited the castle. So some features of the castle. Carrickfergus Castle was built on a brilliantly defensive position. The castle was built using row-hewn stone. The original castle had a bailey, an inner wall and a great hall. It was surrounded by a strong defensive polygonal curtain wall protecting it from every side. And those big words probably don't mean a whole lot to you right now, boys and girls, but again, over the next few weeks we're going to be finding out more about the different parts of the castle. So Hugh de Lacy added a massive portcullis at the gatehouse and a vault. So the keep is the tallest building of the castle. Do you see this little bit here? It was built higher than the rest so people inside could see out. They were also used as a refuge in case the rest of the castle was taken over. And here you can see the gatehouse. The gatehouse guarded the entrance of the castle. The portcullis inside the gatehouse was used to close the entrance and was very heavy, so it might have been used to trap people. So back to today, the castle is a huge tourist attraction and is open to the public usually. So hopefully when we come to the end of lockdown, we can go and visit this castle. And when you go to the castle, you'll see there's lots of things to see and some things that have been preserved and been kept since back maybe hundreds of years ago. And some people maybe get married in the castle as well, or maybe have big parties in the castle, so that's another thing you can use it for these days. So yeah, boys and girls, like I said, usually we would be visiting the castle as a class during this topic. We would usually have a lovely school trip. But I know this won't be the same, but if you Google virtual visit tours Carrickfergus Castle, you will be able to see some of the castle inside in 3D. And also another little thing that you might want to do is you can log on to Google Maps and see if you can find it on the map yourself. And what you might want to do is you might want to put also the address of our school in, and you can figure out how long it would take to get from our school over to Carrickfergus Castle. Hopefully you'll continue to enjoy this topic, boys and girls. Bye!